All right. Welcome to Music. All right. Maniax live Thursday night. Rock. Basically, this is your world, the world of rock, and all the news that comes with it. Breaking news, everything. Dr. Brown, how you doing?
Yes, I'm doing pretty good. How are things going with you two guys? Dave, YR there?
DDR the brain. How you doing, brother?
I'm
Off
doing
the
great,
big
and you're
Ozzy.
underselling the show because, in fact, this is where you get your breaking rock news. You get your inside information, and you get some great concert footage exclusively on this channel. But this is where we bring in the big brains, not just me, but the others, where we can talk about great topics.
And okay, so
ready?
there's a lot. I'm just getting the studio set up here, but yeah, there's a lot that we're going to talk about because look on well, this past Saturday on the 5th, the world witnessed the greatest, in my opinion, the greatest thing you could have bought, paid for from a streaming service in my life. I mean, out of all the boxing pay-per-views, the Mike Tyson pay-per-views through the years, out of all the wrestling, professional wrestling, out of all the UFC
That's hard to
pay-per-views
argue. Hard to
with Conor
argue.
McGregor.
And you got a
Yeah,
T-shirt out of it, didn't you?
and I haven't got received it yet, but
But it comes with the package. So not only
yes.
did you get, and I saw some of your footage where there's some really high definition quality shots, and it was just so pleasant on the eyes.
Now there is a. I mean, look, where do we start? So, like, first of all, Brown, because look, me and Earl, or me to Earl, me and Dave were kind of back and forth Saturday talk. I had I mean, after every set, I was reacting in our server and everything, and it was the type of thing you just had to like talk to
All over
someone, or
Facebook. It was all over the place.
yeah, I was everywhere. And see, I didn't. The issue was like it was obviously
I was at
overseas,
work there
so
that day. As
yeah, it was overseas, guys. So the
Mhm,
time there was a big time difference. So I wasn't trying to
mhm.
look
Didn't
on
it
social
start at
media.
10 in the morning on the was it Central Time Zone? 10 in the morning, something
Yeah,
like that? Or
like 9
11?
to 10, really early, like a truly an all
Mhm.
day deal. Ended maybe
9
7 o'clock
hours.
or something.
9 hours. And like that's a festival. Like imagine if that was on a fairground or something, where you could be still walking around, beautiful grasslands around you, but like you're still hearing the concert and stuff. And like, but like this was obviously in a certain suite, if you want to call it that, venue. And obviously it's a lot different from what would be a sort of like a open field music festival, but it obviously had its uniqueness because you like was it Slipknot started playing, and was it Slipknot? Sorry. um
Go
but
like a couple newer bands opened.
no, but the mosh pits that were playing, that no, it wasn't Slipknot.
Anthrax, Pantera.
Yeah, yeah, it was Pantera. Sorry, why did I say Slipknot? But yeah, Pantera started playing, and like 4 or 5 different like mosh pits started up, and you could see in this huge fucking crowd, uh, people just like partaking and joining in and stuff, and it was like cool because you had other people around the outside that were just chilling, watching. But like people were respectful in those mosh pits and stuff, and nobody was starting any problems. But like
Yeah,
again,
what's
like
his name went in the Pantera one? Jason
oh,
Momoa. Did you see
Momoa.
that,
Jason
Brown?
Momoa. Yes, we did. Yes, I did. It was like, wow. Now that's unique. Now, no wonder people dig this guy because He got to bang the Mother Dragons. He was Aquaman. He was part of the Justice League. I mean, like, he's been everywhere, man.
But yeah, he certainly showed that he was like up for moshing in the crowd and stuff. The crowd just loved him. And again, he was the host of the show, which I thought was a very interesting choice.
Mhm.
But yeah, it worked out, and he certainly seemed to enjoy himself. So good on him.
He did, yes. And you know what? See, but now I wonder why. I wonder why Lisa Bonet is probably thinking to herself, "Why did I separate with this guy?" Because they were married at one point, and they had, I believe, they have a couple of kids. And she's like, "Oh gosh, I let go of this guy for crying out loud."
Yes.
Jeez.
So Brown, you didn't pay for the stream, did you? You just saw stuff on. Like I
Lot of
actually,
stuff.
it's different. It's different when you. It is a different experience. Obviously, it's a different experience when you're there. If you're there at the show, but it's also a different experience if, like, I kind of planned the whole day knowing I don't miss a beat on this. I'm gonna
Mhm.
watch
Yeah, your kolache's
all of
ready.
it. I mean, I saw even the commercials. Like there was, Jack Black doing stuff. There was
I
Fred
saw that
Durst
too.
doing stuff like pre-recorded, pre-sent videos, which was cool
Mhm.
too. Now, granted, I think Jack Black would have been a better host than Jason Momoa because he's kind of like that rock guy or whatever.
He is,
The
yes.
School of Rock movie and Tenacious D movie. Like his movies were kind of music based, rock based,
Mhm.
and honestly, I mean, but look, booking and scheduling conflicts, and look, Wolfgang Van Halen was there because of scheduling, and there's a whole other, I guess you can call it, phenomenon about what bands were offered or what bands wanted money to go to this, and which we can get into that later. But I want to know more, like Brown, what did you see? Did you miss anything? Like, what all did you see? Because I saw everything. I saw every second of it. But like, what were your favorite? Obviously, GNR, and this is the general. This is like a general consensus. Like a lot of people saying GNR. With Axl
Oh
Rose kind
gosh.
of was
Oh
more
gosh.
the down part of the whole thing. People are saying Axl Rose, but
It
what
was
is your
more than the down
overall?
part. Well, this was a big, heavy day in heavy metal history because not only did we get to say goodbye to Ozzy Osbourne, but also the band that Ozzy was involved with prior to becoming a solo artist. I mean, the pioneers of heavy metal, the godfathers of the genre, Black Sabbath, finally called it a day after how many years? This is the first time they played together, all original members, Ozzy, Ward, Bill Ward, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler since 2005 when they did Ozfest.
And when
Of
did you
course,
meet? When did you
Ward
meet
was
Bill Ward again? What year did you meet Bill Ward again?
this.
Real quick.
This was in 1997. Black Sabbath were on tour without Bill Ward. They were doing an Ozfest. It was Tony, Geezer, and Ozzy with some other with the drummer from Faith No More. They didn't ask him apparently for some dumb reason. So Ward had a solo record titled "When the Bow Breaks," and he was promoting that. And they booked him at the I Rock nightclub in Detroit. I was like, oh gosh, I got to meet someone from Black Sabbath, one of my big influences. In fact, I got my photo taken with him, and I always want to show this. I don't know if anybody could see it. This is it's kind of because of the imaging here. I gotta show it on the make a YouTube short of this. I'm holding a copy of Technical Ecstasy from 1976, and it's kind of hard to see for some dumb reason.
Put it in front of your
It's hard
face.
to see.
That works.
What up? What? Yes.
Not really.
There you
There we
go. There you go. There we go. Yes. It was autographed by Bill Ward during when we met him. And later it was autographed by Geezer Butler when he came to the shelter to play with his band, Geezer,
Nice.
later that year. I believe it was November. And all right. Now, if I were to get Tony and Ozzy, it would be a lot more complete. But alas, Ozzy is unable to
You got
reach
two names
because
on
of
there,
the
though.
queue. Mhm.
That's
Yes,
a
yep, two
lot.
names. And you know what? Exactly. I'm still proud of that photo today of Bill Ward. I mean, like I got to meet someone from Black Sabbath, as I mentioned, was my big influence in playing guitar. You know, like, getting into heavy metal and everything else. I was big on Sabbath. Big on Sabbath. In fact, I remember my mom was getting worried about me because she still had it in her mind frame that Black Sabbath were occultists, they're devil worshippers. No, they never were to begin with. I kept trying to tell her that, but no, she didn't want to listen. I'm right, you're wrong. That was her perspective.
Listen, this thing was well, number one, when it was announced, um, there was no announcement on streaming, nothing like. I mean, this should have been primetime Netflix or at least Peacock, like a more wider. Because look, the numbers of now are over 5 million viewers on this, and then 150 million raised. You know, tickets at the venue, merch, and then obviously the streaming money was over 150 million dollars raised, and
Mhm.
um, and that's a lot of money. Like I think it was like 151 million,
Good.
and then 5 million alt streams. That's a lot. That is, I mean, what does like a football game get on, views or something, which is they're usually high, you know what I mean? Like that is, but I think it would have been higher. I think it would have been in the 20 millions and the 30 millions and more if it was on a Netflix. Now this, I was thinking, I was kind of on the edge 50-50, like should I buy it or should I be cheap and wait for the go look on YouTube and blah blah blah. I'm like, you know what? I thought about it, and the shirt package, obviously, which I kind of collect those, and it's for charity. That's the number one thing. Like it's for like three different charities, so that's nice. I was saying, I was like, you know what? Let me pull the plug on this. So I bought the link like a couple weeks ago, and they email you a little button. So like it says when on the day of, click this button and it'll go right to the service. And this was like a fourth party thing I never even heard of, Dave. It wasn't like a Peacock. It wasn't an Amazon. It was like some fourth party streaming deal that professionally like does this because they bring in their camera people. And I'll talk about, and that's going to be important in the summary I'm going to give, because the camera work was so good. I mean, there was cameras on stage, giving there maybe a little bit too much shots of the crowd, but it was like cameras on stage, so
I
give you a
hold
stage
on.
view. I mean,
I
it
want to
was
talk about this. The production value of this concert was spectacular, especially because of the quality of the cameras that were being used, where you got some really high definition shots and really good shots, not only of the band because it was like top down, but like you could see the entire audience. And you were sharing a bunch of these shots while you were watching live. You were keeping us updated, and it was incredible. Like, just again, it goes to show that there was a lot that went into the actual production of this uh, event. And if you look at the details, the fine details, you'll see them again. These shots of the crowd, again, place was sold out, but like over top of the band and seeing them in such detail, it was brilliant. And I go back to what I was talking to these guys about as soon as this concert aired. Is this needs to be on DVD? It needs to be on Blu-ray. That'd be even better. But like, it needs to be available hard copy. Imagine, for example, I'm up at a cabin in the far north of Canada, and power goes out, and I've got my laptop that has tens of hours of power available, and plus the generator. But okay, the laptop itself, you know what? I feel like watching the concert and just tuning out and listening to it. So I get my DVD, pop it into the DVD drive, and I play it off my laptop. That's I want that. I want that physical copy because, again, from what I've seen, it's worth it. In
there'll be
fact,
that.
how when you paid YR, now to look back on it, even getting a T-shirt, you underpaid. Like they gave everyone a deal on that one, because just like each band, like all these different bands that came up and gave glory to like Ozzy, but their sets and stuff were incredible. And I didn't even see the one that you were adulating about, which was Steven Tyler. And you were saying that that was just incredible. And
It was.
oh, so you saw it too?
Yeah,
Yes, I
Brian, what'd you
did. I
think
heard it.
about
It's
that?
like, wow. That was a big surprise because we heard all these stories that he's unable to sing, he's unable to do
Well, no,
his vocals no more.
here's the confusion, or it's not really confusion. People don't understand that he didn't lose his voice to cancel that tour, to cancel the farewell. He had a vocal cord injury. He physically knocked his neck onto like a stage piece or something. Is kind of the story. And so obviously
Well,
injuries they heal up, and obviously that's what happened because he did that. Now they're not going to ever do a full there. I don't think, I mean, that's out the window, but like things like this, yeah, Steven Tyler, Sammy Hagar, they all said they're not going to do. And look, they're
And that surprised
people
me. Sammy
all,
Hagar
you
was
know,
there. And
I
oh
know,
man,
yes.
fucking rock.
Brown,
Yeah, no,
listen, so
that
like,
was,
let me finish the thing about the link thing, because I found it very interesting.
yeah.
Number one, I would have paid $100 for this alone. You know what I'm saying? But so on the day of, it clicks in there. And again, with other services, blah blah blah, we've experienced lagging, which
Mhm.
is very makes you angry and mad, because these sporting events, wrestling events, these music events, especially when you pay for them, they're very important to us at that moment. So when anything happens to that, and let me tell you something, nothing happened. Listen, the whole 9 hours, it was crystal clear. It was great. There was an issue that everyone experienced during the Alice in Chains set for maybe it was a very long minute, but even the app was cool. I don't even want to call it the app, the service that was
Mhm.
streaming on was cool, because it popped up a bubble. It said, we are aware that the stream is experiencing audio issues and we
Oh
are
yeah,
working on it.
and then they fixed it real
I remember
quick.
that, yeah.
I remember
Yes,
that.
so that was
Yeah.
really cool of them to do that, and that was real because they have a live chat going on, Brown, with all these other people watching the stream chatting, just like a YouTube chat. It's
But
scrolling. I
yo,
mean, it's
I
tons
want
of
to just
people.
jump on that real quick. I'm hoping that that was just the streaming, and that the actual show was recorded in its full. Because again, I want this on DVD, physical copy. I need it. I want it.
Yeah, they went back there, especially during right before Ozzy's solo set, and then between Ozzy and Sabbath set, they went back and actually replayed some stuff that might have been, because look, this was like a 2 hour window edited on the stream, so it wasn't live like a 5 second delay like regular live is. It was like a 2 hour window, so they could look, because I didn't realize it, but like this was confirmed that you hear the videos from Ozzy there, and it was sounding very flat, and it wasn't sounding really too great, but you hear the stream and it's like 1985 was Ozzy, you know what I mean? So they did tinker with it. Was live, it was 100% live, but editing and whoever was, they're in the studio. They had an actual truck there set up, that was studio for that stream, so they could do this.
Production
Is what I
truck.
was hearing.
That's what it's
A big
called.
production truck on that, and they had all that just for that, to edit and all that stuff. Now, which obviously they are going to do a. I was hearing that Tony Iommi was just on Eddie Trunk's show a couple days ago, and Eddie Trunk did ask him that, like, this is, I mean, not even asking that, like pretty much bringing it up, like, yeah, it's going to be a thing to where it will be released on a physical format. And Tony, it was kind of too early for Tony. Tony was like, no one really talked to me about that yet. Blah blah blah. Um, so it will be a thing to where this was the final. They release DVDs on World Series and sporting events and stuff that if you're only a fan of the team, you're probably going to get. So for sure, and this is not no niche thing. This was the true the godfathers of heavy metal, like the makers, the creators, the number one. You know what I'm saying? This was so important that there was rumors that Led Zeppelin was actually offered to come here, and they wanted money for this. I mean, there's rumors on other bands too for that, but there's definitely a band that Sharon Osbourne didn't like, pretty much uninvited, because they wanted to be paid for this, and it hasn't been released yet. But Sharon did say she's going to release after the concert ended, and it hasn't been
There's a
released.
lot
But
of
there's so many.
speculation on that too, and you've sort of added to that misinformation. Like, oh, is it Rush? Is it GNR? No, no. What else? What other band did you say? It was
Well, no,
Rush.
that is confirmed. That is confirmed. Alex Lifeson and Geddy Lee were confirmed to be there, but they had to cancel. Now, I didn't look into
Yeah,
that
that's
deeply
not.
yet. Why did they
That's not
cancel?
Sharon. Sharon. That's not her. Canceling that. And then there was speculation prior that you had also mentioned. Like, what other band was it that?
Megadeth. There were
There was,
stories
well, no,
about
that's
them
one of
being
them. That's
canceled
one
from
of
the
them.
show.
Megadeth, but there's another one.
Yeah, they should have been there.
Mm.
I'm making videos on this week about that, because, like, those were. I mean, looking more, when you look online and stuff. Obviously, there's stuff that can be
It's
fake
all
and stuff, but like,
rumors. You gotta wait till the facts come out,
you really
man.
do gotta wait.
Yeah, but like
You really do gotta wait.
you can't be doing a Sean's view and be like, hey, it's Rush. No, it's Megadeth. No, it's somebody else.
No, these are all. I'm not. It's not out of my head. I'm seeing this, like, these, like, obviously there's thousands of bands, but like Led Zeppelin was mentioned for real, and it kind of made sense. Like, they would be the band to, like, be kind of prima donnas
I
about
don't
coming back.
know. I don't.
It's a hard one.
No, but see, I
But
can't
let me add
necessarily
this.
say that, oh, well, yeah, that just seems like a total fit that fucking Led Zeppelin would just be like, yeah, we'll play your end show, fucking Ozzy. It is, no, it doesn't feel right. It doesn't,
And
I'm sure
Steven
they'd
Tyler
call the
did in
guy
that one
up after the
song.
show and be like, yo, you did a great show, mate. But I don't see them being part of that show. In fact, I don't even see fucking Rush being part of that show. So all these
I
rumors
see.
about like, oh, these people weren't here, it's just because they were never invited. Like, what are
I
you talking
see.
about?
Well, no, Dave. There is some juice on some of this, seriously, because let me cook for a minute, and then I'm going to
Okay.
land quickly. I'm going to land quickly, and then I still
Here's
want
the
to hear
drill.
a lot from Brown. I still want to hear a lot from Brown.
Yes, exactly.
This was so big, and keep in mind, this was all about heavy metal. Heavy metal. Obviously, Sammy was there. Obviously, Tyler was there. They're not heavy metal. Obviously, Sammy has a song called Heavy Metal, but
Yep.
there's
No.
there's heavy metal fans, there's Judas Priest fans, there's Black Sabbath fans that obviously worship and love your 70s acts, like your Sammy Hagar's, like your Steven Tyler's. They like your other bands too, obviously. So it makes sense for them to be there. But this was a type of thing you haven't really seen, because all these bands are super old now, blah blah blah. Why can't they have something like this to where all these known bands play, and really you can use some of the same bands, but like, do it for Led Zeppelin, do this for a Pink Floyd, and yeah, Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin come out the end, do 4 or 5 songs.
I counter that argument because
For charity.
You're still fine with fucking AC/DC touring the way they are, and there's all these videos of Aussies even saying like, mates, like, stop it, enough. And like, a lot of people have said that, like, and the videos have come out, like, but you're sort of supporting that, so it's sort of conflicting with what you're saying now.
In a way, yeah. Still have, there's different circumstances to different things. Like, people agree, yes, like Axl Rose shouldn't have, I mean, he really butchered Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath, blah blah blah. But we know,
gosh, you did more than that.
But you got to listen. We know as fans that it's not 1988, 1989 Guns N' Roses. It's not, the 90s Axl Rose. We know his voice isn't good anymore. So, going into that,
both of those arguments don't fucking come together, because the thing is, though, this guy's here to do a tribute to Ozzy. So it doesn't matter how bad he might be. It could be Frankie Valli, who's fucking, totally unaware of what's going on. But if he's doing a tribute to that band, that's different from the fact that, okay, he can't sing anymore. Okay, fine. But he's there to do a fucking tribute. Let him fucking do it.
It's a personal thing, preference. Like for me, some groups may not sound great and others call that out. But I also can't go to a show that they're like sitting in chairs. I mean, even the Ozzy sitting in that throne, it was kind of sad and threw me off for a bit, but like you look past it once it
Yeah,
kind of
hold on.
starts sounding good.
But I will say this, that sitting on a fucking on a throne, which is, you know, typical Ozzy, I think that sort of works. And I'm surprised that he was able to get such strength from sitting, because it's, if you try to sing while sitting, if you've ever done it, YR, I doubt it. I have. It's not as powerful as you can do when you're standing up. So like that was impressive in my opinion.
Dr. Brown, I mean, this whole thing, like, there's just so much, you know.
Well, let me say this, you know, as well, in regard to Ozzy sitting down, we all know the condition, Parkinson's disease. I mean, like, for what I've heard, he was strapped to that throne for some reason, because apparently, according to one source, he tried to get up a couple of times but was unable to. I mean, you got to remember, the man has difficulty walking because of the spinal surgeries that he had. I mean, the guy is in bad health when you think about it. Now, whether he's going to record any new music and that'd be it, we do not know for sure. But then again, all these rumor mills always come about after a historic event like this. You know how that goes. Now, as far as Axl Rose, I know a lot of people have been shitting on him for the way he sounded like Mickey Mouse or Minnie Mouse, or way he did those Sabbath songs. But however, I guess the reason they're shitting on him is because they're expecting the Axl Rose from yesteryear. That's what people grow to know from the radio, the records. And when you hear the Axl of nowadays, they're like, what the fuck?
But again,
it did change, bro. His voice now is different from like even 10 years ago.
Yeah, but I know. So here's the thing, though. Fine, but the question I have is, okay, if this is a tribute to Ozzy, why not just take it as it is? You know,
because you got these critics out
there.
But
you're saying, nah, hold on, Dave, because you say that, but GNR is still touring, the same as AC/DC.
No, I don't.
Same situation.
Look, okay, but that's the thing, though, is just like with AC/DC, just like with GNR, I've said, guys, you should have fucking packed it in long ago. I don't agree with the tours that you're doing right now. I still love you for what you've given me, but I cannot justify either a purchase of your ticket or seeing you do what you're doing on stage. But if somebody like Axl Rose, if somebody like
Paul Stanley,
like anybody really wants to do a tribute to Ozzy Osbourne, and even if their voice isn't up to match as it used to be, and the fact that they're still there willing to perform, that I think speaks over their lack of ability that again came from living the rock and roll lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't blame. Come on, you're gonna shit on fucking Axl Rose, and yet meanwhile that guy lived the fucking rock and roll lifestyle, and 99.9% of people will never fucking experience that. Okay, fine, hate on the guy that lived the life that you never could. Okay, this guy saw opulence that you would never even imagine. This guy inspired people to fucking sing, to be part of fucking music. Try to shit on fucking Axl Rose all you fucking want. You'll never fucking accomplish what he did.
Like I said, it's probably it's that public expectation. They expect it to sound exactly like the record,
But again, even if you don't, that's the thing though, even if you don't, and you're on your last breath in life and you say Ozzy influenced me and I enjoyed what his influence did for my life, you wouldn't show up on the fucking tribute show if they let you and you sang regardless of how you sounded? Like, you're paying tribute to a guy that influenced you. I
Didn't they
think that,
sing? Didn't
and
they cover like deeper Sabbath stuff? Junior or something? Brown.
Junior's Eyes,
GNR.
yes. What I just said, yeah, did Junior's Eyes from Never Say Die, the album, and plus the song Never Say Die as well. And let's not forget, they also did It's All Right, a song that is sung by Bill Ward from the album that I just showed you, Technical Ecstasy. You know, they actually a little short version of that was on the live era from 1983 to 1993, and I don't know what the hell is going on with this. Never tried this. There you go. My lights have messed it up with me, probably my nephew.
Your
Cranking me or
lightsaber.
something like that. It was something like that. It's a regular light that looks like a saber. Either way, I mean, like, did the big also another big surprise was this artist named Youngblood doing the track Changes from Volume 4. He did a very powerful version of that track. And also credit to Nuno Bendicourt, the guitarist from the band Extreme. He was on stage well most of the time during the supergroup sessions on that performance.
Yeah. So like the story behind that is, well, Eddie Trunk had he had Dave Ellison. He had Nuno on. He had in the past 2 days. It was recent, like right after this event. This
Tom
week, and
Morello.
he had Tom Morello and he had Tony Iommi. But like what Tom Morello was saying, because Tom Morello he managed this whole thing for it took him like like for a year
Yeah, he was
to get
the
everything
musical
together.
director of the show.
So like he originally it was supposed to be Wolfgang doing all the guitar parts. Like Nuno was kind of last minute, and then Wolfgang is touring with Creed. He's like opening for them, so the scheduling conflict. A lot of bands had scheduling conflicts. Judas Priest was opening up for the Scorpions. Like both of those bands would have been there 1,000%, but they were like in Germany or something the same day. Motley Crue, like that's what I'm saying. There is a band that Sharon with the whole Sharon thing. Like people are now bringing up Motley Crue, and it's like no, because Vince Neil, which got surgery, no one knows for what, but it's to the extent of they had to cancel like 3 or 4 dates, Motley Crue, this year. So that's why or else Motley Crue would have been there 1,000%. But they're not going to tour if Vince Neil can't, be active. So it's not Motley Crue. Look, like it might be a Led Zeppelin on the bigger thing. So much of this. But Brown, did you see Anthrax's? Because like the first couple bands didn't really, Electric Funeral was played twice, 2 different bands. Pantera, you know what I'm saying? I mean, out of all of it, some people do say like Pantera and like, what do you think about the Tool thing? You see Tool?
Well, Tool is no, I did. I wasn't able to see the whole set that Tool did, but obviously, Tool is a big part. I didn't really get to check that much, but the thing
Listen,
I
the
always wanted to
All-Star
get to
Brown,
was
the
KK
All-Star,
Downing.
the All-Star. That's what I'm saying. The All-Star jams, the jams that
Mhm.
they had. Well, I mean, not necessarily jams because they did songs, but like these
Mhm.
the super groups that they had. You
Yeah,
had people like Chad from Red Hot Chili Peppers on drums.
Chad Smith. Yep.
One of DDR's favorite drummers, Chad Smith.
Mhm.
And DDR, aren't you a
No.
big Red Hot Chili Peppers fan? Like, aren't you?
No, I'm not.
Ah,
I don't know where you're getting these rumors
Travis
from.
Barker.
they
Travis
used to
Barker from
be
Blink 182.
Red Hot Chili Peppers. They used to like be kind of played on the radio a lot, but like I have grown to appreciate their sound of the '90s and stuff. Like they did, the whole California.
They had
what I'm saying? Like
again, they did definitely had a unique sound for that late 90s, and it was certainly Californian. Like you could tell, like I don't know if you could see that, Earl, but like there was a certain vibe that you would get from certain bands from certain areas at that certain time.
It's not grunge. It's not the '90s grunge crap. It's like a
No,
whole
there's
nother
something
sense. It's like an alternative.
No, it's certainly alternative, but like, yeah, like you could certainly tell but they're so versatile too, you know. So they
Chad Smith was
give it
there.
away,
Who else was there, Brown?
Sleep Token. That
The Sleep
individual was
Token
there.
drummer.
Yes, and also I also mentioned Travis Barker from Blink 182 and currently the husband of Kourtney Kardashian. Also, we had also KK Downing. He was there with Billy Corgan for Smashing Pumpkins, doing Breaking the Law.
No, that was really good. They should have done obviously a more, I don't want to say better pre-song, but that is the one song everyone knows. You got to play that.
Yeah. Also, Rodney Wood for the Rolling Stones, he showed up as well. He jammed with Tyler on Train Kept a Rolling.
Brown, what do you think about J.K. Lee kind of messing up at first on some of his parts? Did you catch that?
Well, if I understand, he has an issue with arthritis at the moment. That's
if you listen, David Draymond was there from Disturbed on vocals, and at first when they do forget what song, I think it is Shot in the Dark, and J.K. Lee tries, he goes up there, he tries, but he can't. There's no guitar sound for a little bit, and then he gets into the riff, and it's fine. But like there was a moment there, you know what I mean, that it didn't look too good. But yeah, he was going through a lot, blah blah blah. Look, there were so many. There was a couple things like with the this has to be put down on DVD. Like this is what I'm saying. They missed the mark not putting this on Netflix, not keeping this on a permanent streaming platform, because like there's so much stuff that like you kind of have to watch this like a lot. Like you miss some stuff a little bit because there's so much. Like the Anthrax. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, Brown, what was like the first thing that you were seeing? Like, when were you seeing all this stuff?
I was watching all this on Facebook, on YouTube. There was all these clips being posted left and right in the Facebook video section on YouTube, and there's still clips from backstage, highlights to this day going on in the Facebook video section and on YouTube as well. So it's going to be all over social media like crazy.
It was interesting. They did.
It was big.
All the bands, all the acts did have rehearsals. So if you look on if you look on some of those acts, like social medias, they do have video of rehearsal. It's not like they just went up there and, you know what I'm saying? So like this was obviously like a planned out. I mean, honestly, like it was I just can't get over like how the streaming was.
It was top
just
notch.
Really was
clear and crisp. And the screenshots that you were showing me that were just, again, taken off from a phone that, again, does diminish the quality, still showed how much effort was put in this stream, because like it was just that good quality. And that's why I want this on fucking, at least on DVD, if not fucking Blu-ray. I need to see this and experience this concert. I don't give a fuck if I've got to spend 9 hours sitting in my own fucking sweat watching this fucking concert, but that's what I want.
Dr. Brown, explain what's with Maynard James Keenan. He has like a mohawk wig because he's bald headed. What's with the fake mohawk that he uses?
I do not know. He sported that years ago when Tool made it big back in '93. That was one of his main hairstyles. I'm not too sure. I'm not his hairdresser, so I would not know. But
but now I'm saying like Tool. Look,
but I won't. But let me also get to this. And some of a bitch, you made me lose thought. But the thing I want to know is, fucking hell. The thing I want to know is, like, did Billy Corgan learn the lyrics to Breaking the Law because he kind of messed up a little bit there?
Yeah, there's pieces. I mean, there's a lot of acts that Sammy Hagar kind of lost count or lost verses there on
And also, David Draymond, for I understand, got booed by some of the members of the crowd for some political views he was expressing about Israel and something like that, for I understand.
Yeah, there was that aspect too, which was crazy. He did get booed. You could hear it on the stream for sure. I don't know why they.
But you know what? He did a great job with Shot in the Dark. No doubt about that. And of course, Lizzie Hale, she did the song "The Ultimate Sin," pretty good there. Her own style, of course.
I was gonna ask you about that because I asked YR and I guess he went for a piss break because I never got a response as to how good. Because I was like, "How is Hailstorm?" And he never gave me a proper response. But
It's like women. It's like women's wrestling to me. I'm not too much of a fan.
yeah, but you're a fag.
Well,
women's rock. I don't like
like
women's rock. You know what I'm saying?
no, hey,
Oh,
her
yeah.
voice is no, she's got a great voice. I certainly enjoy listening to her, and she's done some great cover work in the past. Like holy shit! But like
Yeah,
I
she
would
did.
have loved to have heard her set there.
Oh yeah, she did. Her and Hailstorm did a great job with "Shoot the Thrill," the AC/DC song, and this
Dude,
setting the rest of Judas
that's one of my
Priest.
favorite covers. That was so well done, and her voice just is so good.
And let's not forget, she's always been on the cover of Revolver magazine on the top females in heavy metal. She's
Indeed.
always included in that long list.
Mm-hmm.
She's always included. I mean, like she's a hot, pretty mama, no doubt a question.
Yeah, but they should have like Lita Ford on there to sing.
She'd be coming out in a
Well,
wheelchair.
it would be nice. It would be. Well,
like
she's
this
still able
I think she
to.
beat. I think she beats with Sharon. Like there's a beef with her and Sharon or whatever. So tell the people, Brian. Tell the people like Sharon Osbourne. Like she's difficult. Like it's a thing in the rock community. Like she's not really like praised so much. Like Sharon Osbourne. Like she
Not
had.
really. That's why it has a point there. Let's take a look at Bob Daisley, for example, and Lee Chrislick and the screw jobs that they got in the long run. Let's talk about Jakey Lee. He was the kind of like left off songwriting credits on the Bark of the Moon album. All the songs were written according to that album credits was by Ozzy. It's like, wait a minute. What does he use his instrument as his voice? He said that on an interview at one point. But the problem is, Jakey Lee did a lot of contribution to that song, as well as the two albums he did with them, Bark of the Moon and The Ultimate Sin. But the screw job mostly got to Bob Daisley and Lee Kerslake because they were part of the original. Blizzard of Oz was supposed to have been a band featuring Ozzy, Randy, Kerslake, and Daisley. That was the original intent. Then Sharon got it in her mind, hey, let's make Ozzy a solo artist. Let's get rid of Lee and Bob and keep Randy and then add in Rudy Sarzo and later Tommy Aldridge. And there we go.
Rudy Sarzo. Rudy Sarzo was on there a lot too. He played a lot of songs as well on the concert on Saturday.
And going back to Sharon Osbourne, Billy Corgan at the Smashing Pumpkins, they were briefly managed by Sharon around the later half of the 90s, and they had a falling out. In fact, she called it MTV News.
Mm-hmm. How was their set? How was Billy Corgan?
Well, he didn't do any Pumpkin stuff. He just did the cover.
Again, whatever he's saying.
No, it was good.
Yeah, you liked it.
He did. It was definitely like, especially with the song he did. Did he do Snowblind Brown?
I do not know about this. All I know was him and KK Downey doing Breaking the Law.
Yeah, he did Snowblind. I think he just did 2 songs, but he did Snowblind for the cover of the Sabbath cover, and you could definitely tell it was Billy Corgan singing. It had that Smashing Pumpkins, taste to it, sound to it, like with his voice and everything. It was cool. It wasn't a bad cover.
I would have loved to witness that. Again, you got to witness history, YR. And again, I keep pleading for a DVD and stuff. I don't even know if it's going to happen. Be great if it aired on Netflix, but YR was talking earlier, and possible they might just even clip shit and not make it the full concert. And I just want it raw. I want it fucking the way it fucking aired. And just give me the concert. I don't care. Like I'll buy it on DVD on whatever. and just give me the fucking hard copy, okay? I just
I
want
imagine it'll probably be. I imagine it'll probably be on DVD pretty soon, and I know that the proceeds of the
How can you
DVD will
say that
probably
though?
go.
Because everything is going towards streaming services, so that maybe this would be on a streaming
Amazon
service
Prime.
until they
Amazon
say, you
Prime.
know what, fuck it, we're not. These guys like Ozzy is not giving us enough money, so we're just gonna cut it from our menu. So even though you bought it, because this happens, you bought it, but it's like, oh no, it's removed from the library. So what you bought is no longer available to you. That's why you need hard copies
See,
these
even the
days.
payer, even the people that paid for the thing, like me, we only could get it for another 2 or 3 days.
And
The
that's where
link.
people probably, and I'm gonna have to check online, but dark web and all, but like that's probably where a lot of people recorded the thing and it's now available online. But
Yes.
that's the result of them not saying that they're going to release this on DVD or Blu-ray. Like you got to tell fans, like, yeah, okay, fine. Not only are you going to watch this live, but like you get to own a copy. And okay, so maybe the majority of people don't watch DVDs. Okay, they watch everything streamed online, all that, blah blah blah. First of all, sometimes people in the boonies, lose power and they still want to stay entertained. But more importantly, it's just like it's that nostalgia and that merchandise thing where you own a piece of history. So okay, you might not watch the DVD, but you own it and it's in your library. So like
Well,
I
it's
would see
partly
my Earth,
why.
the type of person
That's
to do that.
Yes, that's partly why I first, like, I kind of, when I go to concerts and stuff, like I kind of go based on principle. Like I don't buy the $18 beers. I don't buy the $20 hot dogs. But when you buy the $45, $50 shirt, you actually, it's not a food item. You can eat it and you don't have, like, this item keep for a long time. There's two, especially when there's stuff on the back of the shirt. So like the T-shirt in this package, is a part of the memento aspect, like Dave was talking about. It was just, but these days, it's like stuff doesn't really just go to DVD anymore. Like it goes to a streaming service, like Amazon Prime. It's probably going to pick this up, if anything. But it should be on a, like, this should have been a Netflix special. This should have been a Netflix original. This should have been a Netflix original on Netflix. Like
Should have been on HBO.
HBO, I mean, like a lot of stuff. I don't know. Like I feel like
Not
5
Amazon.
million,
Should have been on
5
Amazon.
million bot, 5 million bots is a lot. If you think about it, though, like 5 million people pay for this to buy this. So,
Well, they could have increased the views, but if they end up selling DVDs, they might end up making more money. So we'll see because they could really charge $100 a fucking DVD, old technology DVD, and people are gonna buy it. Like I'm gonna buy.
yeah,
it.
this is easy. Like they charge that like $85 for video games nowadays. This is easy. $50 package.
And now that all this social media footage has come out of how great the show was, of how the audience reacted, even to like "Mama, I'm coming home,"
Especially that.
pride and stuff, that's going to incentivize people to say, "Dude, give me a fucking copy. I want a fucking copy." So sell that on DVD and Blu-ray and make your fucking money. It doesn't have to go on the fucking streaming service, but now you cut them out. So now you get all the profits. It only makes sense.
You got to keep in mind that the age. I mean, there's obviously families there, blah blah blah. But like Dave or Brown, a question for y'all. Like the DVD aspect of it. Could it be to where? Let me think, because it's difficult when you start doing that, because this was charity. This was all for these charities. So when you start selling DVDs,
I don't know what you're fucking talking about, because okay, Tommy, okay, from the Who, The Wall from Pink Floyd, okay, you have this operatic rock and roll presentation, right? So
Yes.
you have this ability to tell a story. Do you see what I'm saying, Where? Do you have to connect the dots further?
No, I was saying that the whole thing was for charity, so any money they make from the DVD sales, they're going to have to divvy it up to the charities like years for the rest of this. So that wouldn't work though, per se. Like
No,
this could have been
no, it's a
truly
one
like a
time.
one time. This is a one time buy, a one time deal. This was truly a one time thing. You had to buy this. What do you think about that? You know, the charity aspect really confuses it puts a dev in a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't just sell something when you do for charity. Well, you can't just that's like you can't double dip, say something's for charity, then make some money off of it later, right? Or is
Yeah.
that a thing, guys? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, they could do it. Like, does wrestling currently do they release? Well, now it's on a streaming service. They don't. I mean, maybe WrestleMania they'll release that on DVD, right? But like,
Yes.
um,
WWE's been doing that for God knows how
you
long.
get what
Whether
I'm
it's
saying now?
SummerSlam, King of the Ring, or Royal Rumble, they've been
I
doing that
don't
for
get what you're
ages.
saying. I don't understand because again, physical copies, even with the digital world that we live in, people look at the resurgence to fucking vinyl. People need, want, desire, and demand for physical copies, even if
But
it's an old style.
Dave, the money from the DVD purchases, they're gonna pay for those charities for the rest of the DVD purchases because that's gonna last
Says
forever. People are
who?
gonna be
Have
buying
you
this
looked at the
DVD.
contract? Have you seen this, or was it a one-time deal? I
But is
said
that
this earlier.
how? That's what I'm saying. Is that how? Can you double dip? Like do a charity thing and then sell, make money on it
Ask
later?
Ozzy
Like
and Sharon. How the fuck am I going to know? All I'm telling you is fucking how it is.
Here you go.
this DVD will be bought for like 20, 30, 50, 60 years. Like this is like the wall DVD, like you were saying. You know what I'm saying? This is
Yeah,
like
this needs to be available for
Live Aid.
2025 Christmas season. Like this needs to be under
Yeah.
the Christmas tree of every single metal lover, rock lover out there. Like this needs to be there. They've
Metal
got the fucking
parents.
footage already. Make it into a fucking DVD and fucking sell it.
Yes, if you want to
Oh,
include all
let
the
me read
bands,
let me read the chat real quick because we do have some people in the chat. Danny MT's here. Danny, what you, the link you join in, brother.
right?
Mike of Indy is a big Kins fan.
Read his message.
Talking about Lita.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lita used to be a smoke show. Mike of Indy. You think Oz is going to do the bat? Well, look, he does use that like a bat as logos for T-shirt stuff, which is pretty cool. So, like, he kind of still tips the cap. Look, Ozzy looked like the Undertaker or something. Like he just looked really old and really sad. Ozzy, I mean, I don't know, like
No,
how can I
he looked
explain
like
this in
the
simple
Prince of
terms? Like
You
there's
look like
people
the.
like
How
there's
dare you?
Hold on, let me.
there is word in the hello. There is word. This is serious. There's a word in the industry, the Ready Trunk and others. Not a rumor, but just talk about like they put all this together. But you know, Ozzy might not like kind of make it like much longer. Like we saw, and look what you saw. Like he doesn't really look that great, guys. I'm gonna be honest. He looked like Joe Biden up there. But so like they kind of wanted to do this, and they put that was another aspect of this as well. Like they didn't know how much longer. Uh, they put the charity aspect on it, of course. You know what I'm saying? So, but like this is much more than just like a like a tip of the cap or like a celebration. Like this is this was like really like a historical like a Live Aid, and knowing like no this whole generation, this whole past 40 years, because everyone knows who Ozzy Osbourne is. He's like The Rock or someone. He's like the Beatles. Black Sabbath is the next important band next to the Beatles, in my opinion.
What
They're
about
just
Pink
as important.
Floyd? They're just as important as well. They're
No,
keep
no,
that
they're
in
not.
mind.
No, they're not. No, they're not. Black Sabbath are just as important as the Beatles. Pink Floyd's like a psychedelic band that did lasers. They're not in the
Yeah, but
same
then,
breath as the
do you
Beatles.
agree
And
on do you
no,
agree on this, Dave?
they're not in the same. They didn't create. They didn't with the pioneers. They're one
No,
of bro.
Wire's
Like
talking malarkey, and I'm only humoring him. But no, Wire is speaking out of turn. Pistols at dawn, Wire.
But am I correct on that? Both the Beatles and Pink Floyd are probably the two biggest influencing bands out there coming out of
no.
England.
What about Black Sabbath, bro? What are you talking
Well,
about?
I know that. Well, I guess it's fits to
No,
say
The
that
no,
both
Beatles. The
no, no.
77.
This is a generalization that that Earl is talking about, and he is correct. He is correct that both of those bands have broadly, specifically though. Why are you saying? Oh well, what about
not any more than Black Sabbath. That's why they
No,
had this whole thing.
no. Because again, metal and its derivatives aren't as widespread as music that both Pink Floyd and
That's
the
bullshit. I
no,
don't
it's
agree with
not.
that.
It's actual
I
statistical
don't agree with
fact.
that. I
You've
don't
got
agree with
different
that.
styles of music from both Floyd and from the Beatles, and those styles have influenced other bands, even if they
Pink
don't.
Floyd's
do
not
the
even.
whole-
You can't even put Pink Floyd in a proper category like classic rock. But like they didn't
No, but
define
you can't
classic
say
rock.
that fucking
They did.
Rush was
Hello,
influenced by
Pink
them.
Floyd didn't. Pink Floyd didn't
Hello,
define. Pink Floyd didn't define classic rock like Black
we're
Floyd,
not talking
Black
about that. We're
Sabbath.
talking about
Hello,
influence.
Black
bro.
Floyd.
Black Sabbath defined heavy metal. There's tons of bands that defined classic rock. Maybe you can like say psychedelic rock is their genre or something. But the Beatles defined rock and roll as a band, just like Black Sabbath defined the genre. They created the genre heavy metal. Without Black Sabbath, there wouldn't be one of the most important bands, Metallica, as well, which is they're in the same pond. But that is that is not even a good argument, guys. Like you guys are just Pink Floyd fans, so
No, no,
No,
they're
it's
not that great. They're kind of
Not just-
they're kind of overrated. To be honest with you,
I.
kind of overrated. Kind of
That's
overrated,
just why,
Yeah, but
nah. But you're.
so is
I
Kiss
see
and
what you're
Guns N'
saying though.
Roses.
I see what you're saying though. But like, this is the whole reason for this Black Sabbath thing because they defined the whole. They created the genre of heavy metal. Even me being a Judas Priest fan, I have to. You
No
gotta
one's
work
arguing.
like, bro.
no one's
Sabbath
arguing.
Well,
are
hold
the
on a second.
Sabbath are the founding fathers.
But no one's
So-
arguing that. So, like, why are you bringing that up?
No, because I said they're next to the Beatles and one of the most important
No, but
bands,
that's
and Brown's like, oh,
that's a
Brown's
different
like, oh,
genre. Yeah, no, but that's
Brown's
a
like-
different genre. Again, you can say that.
y'all's argument. That's not even my argument.
No, but you brought that. No, then why'd you bring them up in
Pink
the
Floyd,
argument?
Pink
No.
Floyd's not even. Pink Floyd doesn't
You
even
can't
touch
bring them
the
up in the same
Beatles.
argument.
Pink Floyd can't even touch the
Hold on.
Beatles.
When I mentioned that
No,
earlier,
they
why
can't.
are let me mention this. When I'm talking about in the terms of influencing so many musicians to pick up instruments and start bands at home, I'm talking about the Beatles, Pink Floyd, Black Sabbath, probably one of the three biggest.
Well, we're talking about. We
We
were talking about two different things because I was talking about like defining the genre. Like without these bands,
Yeah,
there
you
would
weren't
be
talking-
other bands. Pink Floyd's weak. They're not that great. They're really not.
No,
that
but
great.
that's the thing, though. You
yeah,
were just
in
talking
your
about
opinion.
who influenced who,
Brian,
and
you're
Pink
getting
Floyd
Brian,
has
you're
certainly
getting Brian,
influenced a lot of people.
Brian, you're getting offended, but it's like you can't compare Pink Floyd to the Beatles.
I'm not. Well,
You're putting them in the same category, trying to put them in the same pond.
I'm just putting.
No.
Like, oh, like how dare you? Like, come on, bro. Pink Floyd's
No,
not
but
that
see, the
great.
thing is, though,
I'm
like music-wise, you
Just like
can't
your
compare
just like
them, but influence-wise, you certainly can.
all
Because not
bands
only did they
influence each other.
influence the
All
scene, but
there's
they
all
influenced other
bands,
artists.
not just Pink Floyd. Influenced all bands. Influenced, and Brown is such a mark for
No, but
Dave
the
that he'll
styles
just
that
agree
each
with
I'm
Pink
not a
Floyd
mark
that I'm a
for
big
Dave.
Pink
very
Floyd guy.
unique.
I'm not a mark for Dave. I'm stating my my opinion, and that's it.
Y'all
Plain
are
and
both.
simple.
Nah, listen, y'all are both huge. There's nothing wrong with being huge Pink Floyd fans. through the
No.
history. I know both of y'all are huge Pink Floyd fans. I know you. Come on, y'all are. That's y'all
No,
like number ones.
I'm speaking
the
from a. I'm not.
psychedelic music that the Beatles played is totally different from the psychedelic music that Pink Floyd made.
Nah,
Like,
Pink Floyd ripped off the Sergeant Pepper shit and put lasers in the arena
No,
no, but
no,
then you've got
in a
no.
smoke show.
progressive
Smoke
rock
show.
that emerges.
That is
Wish You
true.
Were Here, for example, and then you've got the Beatles going in a totally different direction, very psychedelic and postmodernist.
I would say
So
that I would
you have a
say I would
diversion
agree. I
from
would
from
meet in the
that point.
middle. I would meet in the middle with you guys, and I would say that Pink Floyd created slash are the founding fathers of prog rock. Would you agree with that? A progressive.
Nah,
They were the
no,
I
early
think
innovators. No,
they came in. Correct me if I'm wrong, Earl, because I yield to you. But they came in at a time where it was starting to formulate, and they got pulled in, and then they just ran with it. But like there
okay.
was other people that were doing that, but they all influenced each other. And then again, you had all these different machines that they were utilizing to create that unique sound.
Mhm. Most
Earl?
definitely. I mean, like when you think about it, every band had their own identities. The Beatles, Pink Floyd, Bee Gees, they were around that time there, without a question. I mean, like everybody pulled their own weight. They added something to the music genres that are out there. I mean, like, come on. The first prog rock, let's not forget King Crimson, even though they're
Yep.
in the prog rock category, the first album they put out was the first prog rock album ever whatsoever. When you think
Tangerine
about it,
Dream,
Tangerine,
which
oh
you got
fuck
me
yeah,
on.
mm-hmm.
You had so many bands that took this and started to create this unique sound. And I've noticed that a lot of them came from the UK.
Mm-hmm.
Like there was just
Exactly.
a good understanding of that type of music, plus the engineering skills that it took to create the hardware. People don't seem to understand that vacuum tubes used to be used. Your fucking studio was fucking heated like a sauna because these machines were creating unique sounds that were new to that time.
Exactly. I mean, you could go to the old footage of Tangerine Dream and see all the big walls of electronics they were using to come up with the bass line for a Rubicon, for crying out loud.
Yep.
look, you can never. And I agree with what y'all said, but like you can never like after this, after seeing even just the Steven Tyler aspect of him coming on and doing the deep cut, the deep Aerosmith cut, and then doing obviously Walk
And
This
how old
Way,
is he?
which
He's like what, 78? Like he's
I think he's in the 70s. Yes,
no, he's
Mhm.
certainly in his 70s. I can't remember his exact age, but like
he
I
looks
saw
great.
clips of him on stage. I didn't see the entire performance, but he didn't miss a beat in what I saw.
He
And
did
Vintage
with
not.
like, and
Tyler,
again,
Brown.
YO was the
Vintage
first
fucking
one to
Tyler.
tell me. I'm like, just chill on my computer wires, like, oh my God, Dave, oh my God, you should have seen fucking Steve Tyler. He was amazing. He just fucking was. And I was just like, yo, I want to see this shit. And when I saw clips of it, it's like, wow, this guy's that old. And, Epstein Island's shut down. So clearly he's not getting his drugs from there. But like, this guy was fucking, he looked amazing and he sounded amazing.
He did
Brown,
exactly. That
Brown, what'd you
that
think
made
about
me
all that?
happy.
That deep
That
track,
made
that
me
song,
happy.
that deep cut he did. Tell us about that song because I never heard of it. What was it called?
Which one? Train kept a rolling.
Yeah, what's all? Is that that's the Aerosmith song? It's an old
Oh,
one from
it's
the
an old
70s.
song. Let me look it up for you right now because it goes way back. Let me do this.
I was a big '90s Aerosmith guy. You know what I'm saying? But like,
Oh,
the Wayne's World movies and stuff.
Like, did
But
you have Pump? Did you have Pump
Train kept a
on
rolling.
CD? I had Pump.
really,
Yeah. Did you?
no, I didn't have it on CD.
Nah, you didn't. On DVD, no less. Sorry, CD. Those were expensive back in the day. People don't seem to understand how expensive CDs were back in the day.
They were very.
Even with
It's
Columbia House, you'd still pay a hefty fund.
okay. It was if It first came out in 1951 by Tiny Bradshaw. It was originally performed in the style of jump blues. It was later done by Johnny Burnett and the Rock and Roll Trio. Made it a contribution in 1960. Actually, no, 1956. They reworked it as a guitar riff-driven song. Now, the Yardbirds did their version of it, and thanks to Jeff Beck's fuzz tone guitar work. And of course, Aerosmith did their version for the album Rocks. And also Led Zeppelin performed a few times on stage here during the later half of their career. And of course, the one we all know was Aerosmith's version from 1974. That's still played on classic rock stations to this very day. I mean, like Aerosmith's version turned it into a hard rock standard and a staple of classic rock radio, and it has performed and been recorded many times by other artists.
Never heard of the song. And they
I
should
mean,
have
like
done Walk
that's
This
been
Way
around
like
for
they did.
years.
They did a super
Oh,
deep track, and then
look
they
up
did
the
like the
Yardbirds
biggest song.
version. Look up the original.
And then he did a Led Zeppelin song.
It did, yeah. Oh, it's been around for years. I remember hearing it when I was a kid. Oh, why? You need to go back to the 70s Aerosmith for crying out loud, like
Yeah,
Seas of Wither,
they were great.
other tracks other than Walk This Way, Round and Round, Mama Kin, all those songs. Let's not forget their cover version of Remember Walking in the Sand.
Danny MT did get a wrench
Oh,
in the
Draw the
chat.
Line included as well. Good.
Did y'all?
Now, what
Brown,
about?
did
I want
you?
to. I want to
Yeah,
bring this up. At the end of Sabbath's performance, I'm not too sure anybody heard about this. Geezer was walking off the stage. Ozzy turned to him and said, "Stay on the fucking stage." Everybody saw the footage of him saying that. And
saw that.
turns out that Geezer and Bill brought back a cake for Ozzy.
Yeah, they didn't
So
show
was
that
the
on the
whole deal. It's
stream.
like,
They cut it off, and
I
Ozzy
know,
looked
yeah, which
pissed.
is sad.
I put out a video out on this a couple of days ago, but like
Yeah,
they
which is
had that they showed that on the stream, like he showed him looking pissed or whatever, and then like it kind of ends, and you would expect them to do like a big band group photo, but then obviously it came out.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. There's so much news trickling from this thing, like from that to this to other things to the rumor from Sharon. Like there's so much trickling down from this. It's going to be talked about for a long time.
And you will be on top of it here on
oh,
the
yeah.
Music Maniacs channel.
It's crazy how this. I mean, this was. They would have done at least 20 million, not 5. Bought. I mean, you can't really tell in a way if you're already subscribed to one of these services, but like you can tell more if you pay for it, like a pay-per-view. It's just I don't know.
If they'd done it through Netflix or HBO, they would have made,
Yes,
for my estimate, at least 5 times what they earned. At least
some of these things, and there's the internet. The obviously, like Dr. Brown, we know the internet and the internet atmosphere these days.
Let me also,
but some things are, some things are actually worth to pay for, especially for charity. You know what I mean? Like it was like an Alzheimer's autistic charity for kids, and so like that, in a way does, that honestly, this came from Tony Iommi's mouth. Like that was a big factor in him because he knew Ozzy wasn't going to be that great per se. Because I honestly got like compare the audio from fan film videos to the stream, and Ozzy's voice is completely different. The people, but look, I mean, when you
like
see
I
that, and
presented
when you
to you.
see the people, having the emotion, when you see the people singing along, partying there at the event, that should tell you something. That sometimes maybe the voice is out of pitch, maybe it's flat. Some shit that doesn't matter. These songs are so fucking big, and people's heard them a million times. That when you get a couple drinks in you or whatever, it's different. I mean,
And
I'm
you got to
saying you
remember,
can't.
we grew up with.
Well, you guys judge
You got
videos.
very
No, you shit all over the ACDC, and it's different when you're there. Sometimes, guys, like Brad.
I didn't shit on AC/DC. The only thing I did just I
No,
did
you're
some
like, oh, they need to
questioning.
retire. They need to retire. They don't need to. Nah, they're selling out stadiums, bro. Some of these, it's different when you're there, guys.
You
Some
can
stuff
see the video.
isn't. Even Guns N' Roses, I that's on my bucket list. I really would like to see them, even though I know with Axl Rose,
Yeah, everyone on
I'd
your
still
bucket
the,
list should have fucking retired 20 years ago. Like,
plus if you're singing, you don't. It doesn't matter what's being sung. You can hear the instruments.
you
You're
could
singing.
be mine.
Dr. Brown, did you see the? What do you think about Megadeth or Dave Mustaine not being? Now Dave Ellison was there, but there was
Yeah, I know.
no.
Yes,
I mean, the Big Four
no Dave
thing,
Mustaine.
the Big Four in itself. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Um,
actually, it was the big three of the big four when you think about it. There,
I mean, even
Was there, Anthrax was there,
Slayer, like
Metallica.
retired a year and a half ago, and like they're doing this. You know, they're doing some festivals still, but like, you know,
Sure,
when a
because
band
Black
said,
Sabbath was a big part of their influence. All the bands that we've seen there was influence, had a major influence thanks to Black Sabbath. When you look back, Pantera, Megadeth, Metallica, Anthrax, other bands included as well. When you think about it, Black Sabbath played a big part in their pick up song. Look it up here on YouTube, and you see what I'm talking about. And also the Swedish pop group Cardigans, they did different versions of some of their songs. Iron Man, Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath. I got to put the links to those two vids for you to check
I'm
out just as well.
unashamed, Earl. I'm unashamed to say that I do very much enjoy the Cardigans.
Yeah, but you got to. I'm sure Dave's heard the cover versions of both the songs I mentioned. Sabbath, Bloody Sabbath.
I have not actually.
You know what? I'll find it for you right now, and I will definitely post it in the Discord Music Maniacs chat right now.
Excellent.
Most
Yes,
definitely.
I would certainly appreciate it. Yes, but I've heard their poppy
Mhm.
stuff, and I like that. Again, I like music, so I don't really, care what anyone judges me on what I'd like. But if it's got a sound that I enjoy, then I'm gonna
Mhm.
listen to it. It's as simple as that. That's just how fucking music goes.
Okay, I'm gonna find it right now.
Wire, your thoughts,
Yo,
comments, concerns?
okay, I never heard of the group Cardigans. Isn't that a apparel for men?
Look up the song.
Probably while you were like 2, 3 years
It's the
old. is
90s
when
stuff
they
there.
made
It's a
them
pop
popular.
song.
So yeah,
Like
you may have
Oasis.
not even been alive. So.
Okay, it's up there right now in the general section of Music Maniacs. It's up there
All right.
right
Oh
now,
wait,
Dave, in the
Check it out.
general section.
But that's cool to actually know that they did covers, because again, they had a good sound, and for their style and genre, sounded great. But to know that they're doing hard covers is pretty cool, actually.
Mhm. And making it their own. That's even more unique.
Yes, I do very much like that when somebody makes a cover of their own. And in fact, that's a show that I
Exactly.
recommended to you guys before a certain someone decided to walk away. Wire could talk about that, but yeah, basically, cover songs that are better than the originals. That is a fucking great topic to discuss for an entire show, I think, because then you can play these songs and you can let people judge for themselves. But like, that is such a good topic to discuss because there are some really good covers that are just better than the original.
Yeah,
that would be a good one. Brown, did you? Here, let me think. So they were supposed to sing. Sabbath was supposed to do. Fairies Wear Boots. They're supposed to do the song Black Sabbath. They rehearsed 6 or 7 songs.
Such a
They
great
only did
song.
4. but they did straight up rehearse for 6 or 7 songs. Ozzy doing "Mom, I'm Coming Home" was a big pop, and it was shocking. I'm surprised they did. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. Very
I don't
emotional
know,
moment.
bro. Yeah, I'm just saying there was a lot of reasons. There was more reasons than just like make this Black Sabbath last, make this Ozzy's last concert. Like Ozzy, man, like even like like even like a year ago, year and a half ago, there's like YouTube interviews where people's I don't know, bro. Like he really kind of got worse in a way. You know, at a point, Brown, remember like a few years ago, the pictures came out. Ozzy's hair was all white, like gray or whatever, and
Yes.
people were like
Well,
shocked, like, "Oh my God, he looks old." Then and then like this whole diagnosis came out, whatever, like in
yes.
2020, I think, or something.
Well, he may have had that. Well, he was diagnosed with Parkinson's in 2003, for what I understand. But well, probably a little bit later. But here's the thing: Ozzy's always had that. He did so much drugs back in the day. He did so much alcohol back in the day. That's going to take a toll on your immune system when you think about it. I mean, like he probably did so much drugs that all the drug dealers that he bought from are still relaxing in Hawaii, for that matter. It, I mean, like you got to remember, and if I'm correct, as I mentioned, that will take a hard toll on your body, your immune system, and plus the fact that he had many surgeries on his spine. He had the Parkinson's he's been dealing with. I don't know how long he'll be on this planet Earth. But if he goes, everybody's going to be crying their eyeballs out to be like a big catastrophe. Like God knows, the
Look,
Godfather
look.
of
If
heavy
I had
metal is no longer
honestly, if
with us.
by seeing people, bro, Joe Biden and Ozzy Osbourne have no more than like 2 or 3 years probably with cancer diagnosis. With like honestly, I don't see another 5 years. I mean, wrestling, professional wrestling deaths are shocking. Obviously, like people like Matthew Perry, that was a shocking death. You know, these celebrity deaths. But when you start getting to the music stuff, that's when it gets like real weird and emotional and really dark and stuff. Because people love these songs, people love these artists. But like the Ozzy death, that's going to be huge. Like the Eddie death was, I mean, really bad and sad and shocking. But like the Ozzy one might be more sad and shocking than the, I don't know, like it's a little bit more expected with Ozzy. But like, not to get dark here, but like, you know, there was, there was more reasons than just the one that, they went ahead and did this because they were supposed to have the Black Sabbath reunite show at the, did you remember that, Brown, at that big festival in California? The Power,
Coachella,
not, no, it wasn't
the
Coachella.
Power Trip,
It was the Power Trip
Power Trip,
Festival. Yeah. Yeah.
Power
And
Trip. Yes.
they were advertised like Black Sabbath reunion, full set, all that. And then even Ozzy, like 3 or 4 years ago, Judas Priest was opening for him for his Europe tour, and he canceled his whole Europe tour. So like, obviously Ozfest and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So like, there's a lot there, bro. Like that's what I'm saying. Like when we were talking about Pink Floyd and stuff earlier, like Sabbath and Ozzy, like, I mean, the importance, bands can have the, inspire and inspiration, and it trickles down, but the true trickle down effect. I mean, you can throw Elvis in there, but like the true trickle down effect of the importance of the Beatles and Black Sabbath, just those two, to me, obviously the Beatles in the 60s, parts of the 70s, and their solo careers, but just the important, like without a Sabbath, you wouldn't have metal. Just think about that. You wouldn't have Metallica. You wouldn't have that sound. It's the sound. They call it metal because it's the sound of the factories in Birmingham. I mean,
Right, Birmingham, England.
Judas Priest is right next to Sabbath, like right on up there with the importance. The group in the same area, like right around the same time. But like the trickle down effect of Sabbath is so crazy, bro. You think of all the metal bands, and then some of those metal bands like Metallica are put in the classic rock category. You know what I'm saying? Even Iron Man, all of those bands, bro, all the '80s stuff, obviously the big four. You know what I'm saying? Just the big four, just the thought of the big four. Hey, these are these four bands that define this generation, this, long hair, blue jeans, with the cut off shirt, Dr. Brown. We know you used to cut off sleeves off your t-shirt. And, that was,
leather jackets.
Leather jackets, like, bro, the
Defiance.
importance. And Ozzy himself as the front man is a crazy, guy, whatever. Like, everyone, bro, these people are so important to music that it's so crazy. Like the Beatles, bro. I mean, all these bands, Pink Floyd, everything, right? They have their different reasons.
Everybody,
like,
Zeppelin included.
I personally think, honestly, like Led Zeppelin, they're right on up there, blah, blah, blah. But like, I just meant because I've been diving deep into the Sabbath catalog, blah, blah, blah. And like, I feel like Sabbath is more important than Zeppelin. Now, Zeppelin's definitely more popular, right? Like, definitely I could say that. Like, they're more popular, but like, I don't know, like the heavy metal community, the metal community, which goes, which obviously is in the same pond as like the rock community, just in going to the concerts and just online. People really fuck with Black Sabbath and Ozzy, bro. People love Sabbath. I didn't realize, like, people love Maiden, people love Priest, but like people like worship Sabbath. Like these bands, your Metallic, Scott Ian, James Hetfield, Lars Ulrich, all these people worship Sabbath, bro. They worship Sabbath. Like
funny.
They said that on. Hello, not done with the sentence. Pantera, all these bands on stage were saying without Sabbath we wouldn't be here. Like there are multiple bands saying, like James Hetfield, Dr. Brown. Go ahead, man.
What's kind of funny is that I remember when you mentioned when you saw Zakk Wild's tribute band to Black Sabbath, you were sending me all these clips. So which song is this? Which song is that? And I was giving you straight up
Isn't
the
that
titles
wild?
of it. It is, yeah, exactly. I mean, like, I think that may have been your introduction to Black Sabbath when you think about it, other than the mainstream songs that we hear on the radio, whether it's Iron Man, War Pigs, Paranoid, Children of the Grave. I mean, like, he did some steep stuff there when you think about it.
Deep cut. Yo, old man Davey in the chat. Motorhead Sympathy for the Devil to me is better than Rolling Stone Sympathy for the Devil. What? Yo, that is a good
I
topic
heard
for a
the
show.
Motorhead version.
That's a good topic. I've never heard of the Motorhead version, but that's a good topic of the show.
I have. Oh, Guns N' Roses did their version as well for the Interview with the Vampire movie back in '94. I'm not too sure if you heard that version yet.
I think I've heard that version.
I heard, yes. It was at the end of the Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah, it's a great topic, Wire. Covers songs that might be better than the originals. I thought it up. The Brain, DDR.
Sweet. We got to do that next week, most definitely.
Yo, Dr. You see the did you see the holy shit, look the first, I seen Rival Sons. There was a second I saw there because they opened up for Smashing Pumpkins, and
that's cool.
I already knew they were going to be good because like they be using these vintage, like super old equipment, and like when they hit Electric Funeral, I was like, wow, like the sound on that and everything. I was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Like I think they did better than Pantera's Electric Funeral. It is different, but there was two bands that did the same song twice, and it was Electric Funeral, Pantera, and Rival Sons. And now they're saying Rival Sons kind of had that already, technically, like on their list, but like Pantera is Pantera or whatever, so like they can do whatever the fuck they want. So they did that type thing. Like Tom Morello was on there, and there's so much.
Yes.
Because I'm kind of reintroducing myself to like a lot of the '90s stuff again. You know what I'm saying? Which there's no comparing that to like the '80s stuff and like just the musicianship. Like the '90s is way more lazy and on a lot of stuff like riffs and just the sound and just it's more dull and
Mhm.
like '80s guitar musicianship. It's some of the best. It really is. But like Brown, did you see the Jason Momoa stuff? Let's see. They had did you see that Ghost got announced? I mean, I don't want to like crap totally on Axl Rose and be like he was the worst thing on there, but there was other things that like this Ghost band, like he was on there, and honestly, like him, Dave Draymond, and a little bit of, I mean, people like are praising the Youngblood guy, but I don't know some of these newer voices in rock. I don't know if I'm trying to compare it to like the heavy metal voices like a Halford or a Dickinson, but like your David Draymonds, it's just really not that great to me personally. It's like anyone could sing a Disturbed song or how David Draymond sings. Like even Ghost, like there's so much hype about the band Ghost, like so much to where you can't even. They have a phone
You know,
band at their concerts. They have a full phone band at their concerts. Very popular. Ghost is so huge,
mhm.
at least in America. I think in the
I
world
know.
it's like a global thing, but like they're so big that
Speaking of which,
they do phone band. This is Earl interrupting again, but go ahead, brother.
speaking of which, you got to check out the AI covers of various Ghost songs by an AI Ozzy. I've heard a
Did they
few of
do that
those.
already? Did you see that?
Yeah, he
That
did. I've heard a few of those. I've I've seen a few video Ghost covers with an AI Ozzy voice.
It's really his voice.
Look it
He
up here on
like I don't know
YouTube.
if it's more of like a live concert thing. Like they have the Ghost concerts is more of like because I don't know the voice. It really wasn't that great. Like you would think it'd be some like wild Bruce Dickinson type like great. Even fuck Brown. Even look, I'm diving into the
Well,
Anthrax
I never really
catalog.
heard Ghost that guy before. Mm. Oh yeah. Yeah,
Oh
by the way,
yeah,
Anthrax did their version of Sabbath Bloody Sabbath on the EP they did back in 1990. Actually,
Brown.
it's a
Can I
lot
get
more
a
of a previous, a couple years before 1990.
Brown? Can I get the
Go
view
ahead.
on why I guess it is the last two Sabbath albums with Ozzy, Never Say Die and Tentacle SCCs. Why didn't they? I don't know. People are saying Tentacle SCC is not that bad, but like, why do people not like? What's up with those albums? Why don't people? You know?
Well, because those records kind of like for those two records they drifted away from the doom metal, the doom genre into much more hard rock lighter territory. And the reason I believe they did that was to get away from the black magic, occult, satanic stigma that's dogged them for how many years from the word go. And I guess that was way to drift away from that genre because so many people, so many parents, so many Christian fundamentalist groups were dogging on them because of the satanic imagery that came along with it. I mean, like, but I keep in mind, all that was not the band's fault. Yeah, I remember told this story. It's been told many times before. Their first album, the UK version, had a gatefold featuring an inverted cross upside down with a dark poem along with the credits of the band's names,
Really?
what they did, what they produced. Yeah, it was never issued here in the States. But the release party was held in Los Angeles, and the master of ceremonies, Anton LaVey for the Church of Satan. And that from then on, Black Sabbath was labeled as the devil's right hand men, the bringers of chaos and satanic worship. I mean, like there
Like
was a story I
Satan
remember
service,
that.
Satan servers, servers, Satan's army.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Exactly. Like you look at the gatefold at their greatest hits compilation. We sold our soul for rock and roll. The title alone raised a lot of concern. It was a woman with a big line in the coffin, open casket, looking all dead as hell, with a big cross stuck into her middle. You look it up for yourself, YR, to see what I'm talking about. And I guess it got to them. It was to get away from the black magic stigma, and that's why those two records are kind of like more lighter than the previous records. And I guess a
All
lot
right,
of
we gotta
people are really not
we,
keen on those two records.
we gotta touch
Hmm.
this, Brown. This news about the Kiss, about basically like Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons kind of taking the reins in their hands and totally re
Vegas.
they rebranded in a way this Vegas thing. It was supposed to be a Kiss Army meetup, like something, but now they're rebranded it into like straight up like the Kiss Cruise, but on land. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And so, but there's so many hotels in Vegas. There's a lot, and so they're teaming up with, I think it's Virgin Hotels. I'm not sure. But they're going to do like a hotel casino, because the hotels and casinos are like in one area. It's one building, Brown. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And kind of like a mall or something, but like it's casino and hotels. And so like the whole thing is going to be a Kiss take, like of the whole thing, to where if I read it right, like it's going to be a only like paid for members of the VIP of this thing. Like if you pay for this event, can be in the casino and hotel. Like, so that's pretty cool. But instead of like
Mhm.
of it being like at a hotel conference center or something, it's like the whole hotel. It's like the whole thing. So like
Mhm.
there was rumors on that of low ticket sales, so they had to like spruce it up a bit, of course. But it is cool. It's like all new um, promotional like uh, what is it called, images and everything, like promotional posters. It's a whole
Yep.
new rebrand. Like we're on land, like the Kiss Cruise is going to be on land, which means it's going to be like a lot of bands and stuff or whatever, some bands, and like
Oh
Sebastian
yeah.
Bach's going to be there. But it's
Of course.
thousands of dollars. I mean, this is like $3, $4, $5,000 each
Oh, no
person,
surprise about that. No surprise about that being that high,
which
because knowing
which
how
Are you gonna go,
which
Byron?
Kiss was rumored also is to be the band that wasn't going to be on the Ozzy thing because of the money as well, and that does make sense. But until that comes out, it's only speculation. But Brown, this whole Kiss, they're going to make money forever, man. They're not gonna, like the
Mhm.
tours stop, the
Mhm.
touring stop, but like these events is where the money is in a way if they do it right. If they would have started with this on land gimmick, I think it would have sold
Mhm.
way better, because like at first it really wasn't clear what this was going to be. Like, is this going to be a Kiss Expo? Is this going to be like a Kiss reunion? Is this going to be like a one-time Kiss reunion in Las Vegas type thing? Is this going to be a Kiss residency? Like, people were very confused on what this was, and that kind of, obviously the money and the prices, but like um fans were confused, so like they had to go back in there, and that's kind of what they did, and that's the whole thing, like behind the story. Like Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons, they went in there themselves, and what I'm saying, like I guess they hired a company to do this for them, and it wasn't, I don't know if it was promoted right or something. It just didn't make sense. I'm like, it just wasn't clear on what it was. People like, they had Tommy Thayer on their booked, right? Or Bruce Kulick. They had Bruce Kulick on their book, Brown. But like, you don't have no
Mhm.
drummer, no Peter Criss booked announcement, not even um, the Eric Singer, Eric Carr, or the who's the one who's played for them recently, Brown.
Eric Singer.
Eric
Mhm.
Singer. There's no Eric Singer
Eric,
promoted on
Eric
there.
Singer.
So you know what I'm saying? So like, it
I
was
don't know
like, it
why,
wasn't really
because they
clear.
can't bring back. Because obviously, I don't know why they didn't bring in Eric Singer, because obviously Eric Carr is no longer with us. He died the same time Freddie Mercury did.
What? Okay.
He did. And obviously, no, I don't know
Nah, I'm
why. They
saying I know.
should at least bring back. They should bring back, Peter Criss, obviously, but there's too many drama between Peter,
I think they're gonna
Ace,
bring.
and
I think they're
Gene and
gonna bring.
Paul. I mean, like the boxing match.
They'll bring in the guy who drums for
Go
Gene
ahead.
Simmons solo band, or they'll bring what's his name, Scott Cooling. What was it? What was his name,
I
Brown?
don't know
The
who.
drummer, Scott Kushnick.
You gotta elaborate on this person a little bit
Scott
more.
Kushnick. He's his like uncle or
Kushnick?
something made that. Yeah, his uncle made the act, like the law. He put in the law or the act to where like children entertainers don't get their money taken away or something. Kushnick,
Hmm.
not Kulig.
Kushnick.
Brown, you remember that guy, Scott Kushnick?
No, I never
He
heard
played.
of this guy. You gotta elaborate a little bit more.
All right, look up the name of the guy. He's on Ace Frehley's solo band as the drummer. He's the drummer.
The only one I remember was
Scott
Anton Pink.
Scott
Ah,
Coogan. The Coogan Act. The Coogan Act is like an act of like Dave. You know about that stuff, act and laws and everything. But like it's like a thing to where children, entertainers, their money doesn't get taken away or whatever.
Coogan
They get to
Act.
keep the Coogan Act. Yeah, and so Scott Coogan plays for Ace Frehley's solo band as a drummer, and he is really good at singing too, backup vocals. So I would see them bringing someone, and he plays for Scott Coogan. I think played for I think
Yeah, I've seen him right now.
Sebastian Bach's solo band for a bit. Like he played for other people's bands in the industry or
Yeah, he
whatever.
lives in Las Vegas. He lives in Vegas where he
And he
records,
lives in Vegas, so
performs,
there you
and works
go.
as a counselor. Yeah. And he is also a counselor at the Rock and Roll Fantasy Camp as well. He's worked with Brides of Destruction, featuring Ace Frehley, Nikki Sixx. He's worked with other acts like Sinead O'Connor, Vanilla Ice, OTEP,
And people
Peter
would,
Yorn.
I bet you would see like more than 50% increase in sales if they did announce a Peter Criss and Ace Frehley like reunion unmasked with Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons. Like that you imagine, Brown, you would go out your way and pay
Mhm.
5,000 to go travel and see that, for Christ's sakes. You know what I'm saying? Like, or your hardcore, super hardcore. I mean, it's a lot of money, but like that's the moments people want. People want that. People want these, like even if it's for two or three songs, like this Black Sabbath thing. Like at first they made it sound like it was just going to be Sabbath and they're reuniting for a full set. But then as the weeks and months go by, it trickled down to like they basically did four songs at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I feel like stuff like this, like the Back to the Beginning
Right there.
theme
All
stuff,
right.
could be you. All right, go ahead.
Okay, I got the Coogan Act right now, also known as the California Child Actors Bill, is a law designed to protect the earnings of child performers. It requires that a portion of the child actors' earnings, at least about 50%, be assigned in a blocked trust account known as the Coogan account until they reach the age of majority. The law was reenacted in response to the case of Jackie Coogan, who, despite earning millions as a child actor, found his earnings depleted by his parents upon reaching adulthood. Let me look it up here. Jackie Coogan. Let me find out about this guy here. Give me a couple minutes. American actor and comedian. Began his film career as a child actor in silent movies. Let me go to the Wikipedia, blah, blah, blah. I'm looking at it right now. He later sued his mom and stepfather over squandered film earnings and inspired California to enact the first known legal protection of the earnings of child performers, known as we mentioned, the California Child Actors Bill, often known as the Coogan Act. He continued to act throughout his life, later earning about renewed fame in middle-aged performing, playing Uncle Fester in the 1960s TV series The Addams Family.
Really?
Yes, exactly. I'm looking at it right now. And I'm looking for Scott Coogan as well and his list of others and such. All right, there. I'll let you, Dave, take over. I got to take care of a little bit of something. I'll be back.
Where am I coming in
What?
here?
All right, the Coogan Act. Dave, have you ever heard of that? By
No,
the
I have
way?
not. We also have Old Man Callie in the chat says, to me, Metallica Masters of Puppets is the best rock album ever. I can't agree with that personally, but I guess it's all on preference and taste. What do you have to say, Wire?
Well, out of Metallica's catalog, I would say the Black Album is, I mean, if anything, the Black Album is the one that put them on the map, with the world. I mean, personally, I'm not really into the thrash. I'm not into the growling. You can't understand what they're saying, metal. And there's a lot of that. I
Well, you
mean,
don't
a
like
lot
the
of that.
black and the death metal, like it's like
mean,
I'm
even
just
Land,
here to I'm just here to chill, to hear
I mean,
some lyrics and to enjoy myself. Like, why acting so mad?
like Anthrax compared to Slayer. I mean, it's way different vocals on that. Like Anthrax is on up there with a Bruce Dick. Would you agree with that, Brown? Or did he shit? Did he take a shit already?
I don't think he's
Oh,
back. But I will
the
say this:
vocal,
any band
yeah,
that needs to wear a mask, not painted on,
the
but like as
vocalist for Anthrax,
then
Bruce Dickinson.
there's a problem there. You're not cool,
Yes.
not scary. Sorry, you're just wearing a mask. That's it. Okay, great.
Yo, Dave, do you see definitely within the next? I mean, it can't. I don't see it in the next 10 years. It's got to be within a 5 year window. But do you see them doing this for like Led Zeppelin or Pink Floyd? I'm sure they've had stuff like this for the Beatles, perhaps in the past.
No, I don't see it happening.
No,
Again, this goes to Sharon because she's aware of marketability and such, and she saw the opportunity. But Pink Floyd doesn't want to get back together, and they're not going to do a show like this. I don't see any band really that's gone that's willing to come back and just do a show like this. So no.
Well, and it really was the original four members in Sabbath on this. It wasn't like you can't really do that with any other bands either. If you think about it, like Pink Floyd or Led Zeppelin, even you know what I'm saying? Because John Bonham.
Mm-hmm. Or
But
Richard Wright from Pink
you
Floyd.
you really can't. You know what I'm saying? You can never say never because people want to do this with Kiss. Like people want this to be like a Kiss thing. You know what I'm saying? Where people come out and which I mean that's what they're kind of doing on their thing in Vegas, right? Like I don't know. I feel like we only have like 5 or 10 years until all these bands can't tour anymore. They don't do it. Like the window is small for the music that we have grown up on, honestly. And you have to get into new music, Brown. You got to get into the new Linkin Park. You got to get into. Did you hear the new Green Day album?
Fuck Green Day.
No,
They'll
I
live
never.
on. They'll.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Brown, what do you think about?
I was never into Green Day. I'm not an alternative guy. You got to remember that. I'm into old school metal, and I realize maybe these bands may not be around that much, but there's other groups out there. We're checking out Saxon, Pentagram. Wasn't you supposed to see them play live?
Yeah,
When they
but it
came
was
to
real hot.
Texas a while back.
Yeah, I took a pass on it.
Does it matter? Does it really matter?
I'm picky. I get picky with because like I went to that Weezer shit and that shit was not my cup of tea. I don't like going to concerts. I don't know anything, bro. I got to know the songs. You know what I'm saying? It's way better when you know shit. But like Brown, did you see the
I don't know much. Hold on, let me interrupt. I
did you see
didn't
the
know much
Metallica
about
set?
Shaka Messiah. Yes, I did heard a Metallica set. I did, yes. They did a good job with Master Puppets, Battery, and such. And yes, I know.
pretty
I
good,
guess
right?
they did their version of "Hole in the Sky," for what I understand, the Sabbath cover. And yes, credit to them.
Johnny
They
Blade.
definitely did
Johnny
appreciate the
Blade.
Black Sabbath on the shot. Yes.
They did
Oh
Johnny
my gosh, you
Blaze.
got to find that on YouTube. Johnny Blade from Never Say Die. Gotta check that out sometime soon. Yes, I got it right here, and the chocolate milk. Wow.
Ooh, Collision is on, Dave.
It is. And this Saturday, 3 p.m.
Right, I'll definitely
will be a great pay-per-view. AEW.
Yo,
all
on
in.
Ticketmaster, it says it's gonna start at
Where
1,
IR
bro.
did not choose to go.
It says it's gonna start at 1
That's the pre-show.
on the Ticketmaster.
Pre-show's 2 hours,
Look,
and then officially starts at 3.
look, this is what's gonna suck on the like going to that field is I saw 2 concerts there within the past year, and they keep up the ball seats that are like not on the floor but are on the stands, like the net. If you're not above the net, but then you get into like nosebleed territory. But that net is blocking you on a lot of those seats left, and
We'll see.
technically that's one of the reasons that I'm not like crapping on it. I'm saying that's maybe one of the reasons there's no one is sitting there, because the foul ball nets are up, and they keep them up because it is baseball season still, and they even do it on the off season, because when I saw it, it was off season. So like that's one thing. It's gonna be good. Obviously, they're gonna, you know. But I don't know, Brown. Overall, with the Black Sabbath, did you get your chocolate milk? That's what I heard you say. You gonna go get some chocolate milk? My name is Count Dracula, and I like the chocolate. Brown, did you get the chocolate milk?
Count Chocula.
Oh gosh.
That's a
Brown
great,
is a Brown.
cereal.
Brown is a mark for Dave. So, and we know that.
Shut
It's
up.
not a
No, I'm
bad
not.
thing.
Jeez.
All right, Brown, what do you have to say? Any closing remarks on the Black Sabbath, on everything?
Well, all I can say is, Black Sabbath helped influence the genre of heavy metal in a humongous way. Look at all the bands that emerged from listening to those earlier albums. And what can we say? The heavy metal genre is going to go on and on and on because of Black Sabbath, without any
Brown,
question.
Brown, they didn't do no Dio era, nothing. No songs of the Dio era, nothing about Ronnie James Dio. That was interesting. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're gonna close the book on
It's a
Sabbath,
surprise,
you know.
let alone the Tony Martin era of Black Sabbath. That's highly underrated still to this very day. I mean, like albums like Headless Cross, Cross Purposes. But then
Is
again,
that gonna
people
be
so focused on the. Go ahead.
Is that gonna be our topic for next week? The cover songs, Brown.
I'd say we do so. I say we take a shot at it. Definitely take a shot at it just as well, because that's been brought up many times before. Which version is better, the original or the cover? So definitely we got to talk about that.
Look,
In fact, let's
honestly,
make it a whole debate. Which is first?
look, seeing clips on this Black Sabbath thing is way different than seeing the whole. If you took 9 hours to watch this whole thing, like just to see who, like, especially on the All Star, jams, with Steven Tyler and Sammy Hagar. Like, this thing was so. It was really the greatest thing I ever ordered off a streaming service ever in my life, and I would say they will put it on like Amazon Prime or something before releasing a DVD, just by the look of, like, no one releases stuff to DVD anymore. Like, it's crazy on, like, it's not even a thing. Like, a DVD player is not even. Do you have a DVD player, Brown?
No, I haven't.
I do.
I
There you
only
go.
had one when it was
I do. Several.
All right, there you go.
What that?
Dave and I have PS4, so I'm
I've got a
saying, like,
VHS. How about that?
why don't you have a DVD player, Brown? Do you have a TV?
I had one. I had a portable one when it was living in Richmond, Michigan, but some motherfuckers stole it unexpectedly.
It was back in 1990.
I can't
Back in
get into
1995.
details.
It was back in '95 when DVD players first came out. You make it sound like you made it sound, bro. All right, so
Richmond, Michigan.
Dave. So Dave, you're just pretty much waiting on the DVD on the physical format. To
As
get
soon
it.
as that drops, I buy it.
There you go.
Now,
Most
could
likely, it'd
you?
probably be either one of two things. One, they'd be the full show on 2 DVDs, or it'd be highlights or 1 or 2 performances from each band into 1 DVD. But all the proceeds are going to go to the charities that the show was going for, which is one of them, Parkinson's research and stuff.
Like, you could recycle it again and do that again, and I would buy the DVD. I would absolutely buy the
Right.
DVD. All right,
And
Brian, if you
definitely
want,
go to your face.
Brian,
Go
if you
ahead.
want to close out, the show, please, and plug everyone, man.
Okay, with a shout out to, of course, Black Sabbath for inventing heavy metal altogether and being a big influence in my teenage years. I mean, like, I wanted to play definitely, like, course, shout out to all the members of Black Sabbath that we have not mentioned, whether it's Bobby Rodinelli, Rodney James Dio, Tony Martin, Cozy Powell, Neil Murphy, who played bass after Ozzy, after his geezer left. Also, the singers Ian Gillan, Beb Evangelist as well.
Brown, who was
I
the
mean, like,
drummer
Black
that
Sabbath
that
had a
was
lot
in
of lineups after the original.
Brown? Who was the drummer that was in Whitesnake? The big afro.
Cozy Powell, Big
No,
Afro.
the Brown.
Oh,
He
you
he
mean
did all.
Tommy Aldridge?
Yes, he wasn't there at
He
the
played with
event.
Ozzy too. Yes.
Yes, people were wondering why, because he's still active drumming. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I know. Yeah, probably on tour with Whitesnake, most likely, probably.
All right, Brown, you can go close the show. Sorry.
All right. Thank you to everybody for tuning in on tonight's episode. Props to Black Sabbath for all they've done for the genre of heavy metal, and also props to all the bands that was inspired by Black Sabbath, including the ones that we've been mentioning: Pantera, Anthrax, Iron Maiden, Metallica, Megadeth, Slayer, all the bands out there that were influenced by Black Sabbath. Even the early grunge rock bands, they were influenced by Black Sabbath, especially Master of Reality. Look up that album without a doubt. Why, you got to check out those early albums with Ozzy, the ones we mentioned: Sabotage, Never Say Die, Master of Reality, Sabbath, Play Sabbath, Vibe Forward, and know what I'm talking about. And thank you to everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you
Well,
all next week.
The
Same bad
first
time, same
album,
bad station.
the
All right.
same Black Sabbath station.
That's what started out.
Dr. Dave, go ahead.
What?
Let's just wrap it up, okay? Like, this is like a very long ending.
I know. It's like I take my time at time.
All right, Brown. We'll see y'all next week. We're gonna have the topic of the cover songs, which Metallica was number one in covering the cover songs, in my opinion. We're gonna talk about all of that, guys. Dave, get ready. Are you gonna be there next week, Dave, or we're gonna have
Yeah,
Danny MT?
I'll be there next week.
Well, Danny,
And
we gotta get you on, brother.
Danny MT as well. He wants to come back.
All right, guys. Well, thank you for having you, Dr. Brown. Thank you. We got to get you working on the StreamYards a little bit better.
Right there. Like I said, it's been such a long time, man, since I've been
You
on
got to dust it
StreamYards.
off.
This video
Well, thank you.
Skype
And will
or
you
on
be recording this? Will you be recording this, putting it on your channel, brother?
Well, I'm unable to record on my OBS because of the issues that came along with it. There was a lot of where your voice was cutting out left and right, Dave's as well. So I'll conjure up some way to record it and then upload
Well,
it
no,
on my
on your you couldn't. It cut off for you, but like if you recorded my stream, everyone heard everything. It's different audio, Brown.
I have actually
So,
I have a unique way of doing recording. Definitely, leave it up to me, and I'll definitely put it on my channel within soon.
all right, thank you, guys.
All right, bye bye.
Can we,
See you
guys?
next week, folks.
Thank you.